Sometime after 40, millions of people do everything they were told to do to lose weight. They eat less, they exercise more, they cut carbs and count calories and skip meals. And almost every single one of them is told the same wrong thing when it doesn't work. Try harder. Today, I am going to tell you why that advice is not just wrong. It is actually making the problem significantly worse. And more importantly, what your body actually needs instead. I'm Dr. Katherine Ortiz from DNA Wellness and Longevity Institute. Here is something that does not get said enough. The weight loss strategies that worked in your 20s and 30s were designed for a completely different hormonal environment than the one you are living in now. At 25, your metabolism is flexible, your insulin sensitivity is high, your cortisol recovers quickly, and your sex hormones are actively supporting lean muscle mass. Cut calories, add cardio, and yes, the weight comes off. But after 40, that entire hormonal environment shifts. Insulin sensitivity drops, cortisol becomes harder to regulate, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone all decline, and suddenly the same strategy that worked before starts working against you. Your body is not broken. It is operating on a different set of rules. Until you understand those rules, you will keep fighting your own biology and losing. There are three specific hormonal shifts doing the most damage, and almost none of them get addressed in a standard weight loss conversation. Driver one, insulin resistance. Every time you eat, especially carbohydrates and sugar, your body releases insulin to move glucose out of your blood and into your cells for energy. But when you have been eating frequently for years, your cells start ignoring insulin's signal. That is insulin resistance. And when it happens, glucose stays in your blood, your body converts it to fat, and your fat cells, particularly around your belly, become a one-way door. Fat goes in, it does not come out. No amount of calorie restriction fixes insulin resistance. In fact, severe calorie restriction can make it dramatically worse because when you cut calories too aggressively, your body reads it as a famine signal and slows your metabolism to conserve energy. It holds on to fat more aggressively. And the moment you eat normally again, it stores even more than before. That cycle is not a willpower failure. It is a predictable biological response to the wrong strategy. Driver two, cortisol and the belly fat connection. Here's what most people do not know about cortisol. It directly instructs your body to store fat, specifically visceral fat, the deep belly fat that wraps around your organs and is not just cosmetic. Visceral fat is metabolically active. It produces inflammatory signals that make insulin resistance worse, which raises cortisol higher, which stores more belly fat. It is a loop. And the things that drive cortisol up are everywhere. Poor sleep, chronic stress, overtraining, and undereating. Notice those last two. Undereating and overtraining are the exact things most weight loss programs tell you to do, and both of them spike cortisol significantly, which is exactly why aggressive diet and exercise programs often produce rapid initial results followed by a brutal plateau. Your cortisol went up and your body fought back. Driver three, loss of lean muscle mass. After 40, your body loses muscle mass at an accelerating rate. This is called sarcopenia, and it matters enormously for weight loss because muscle is metabolically expensive. The more muscle you carry, the more calories your body burns at rest. When you lose muscle, your resting metabolism drops with it. And most traditional cardio-focused weight loss programs actually accelerate muscle loss. You burn calories in the short term, but you lose the engine that burns calories long term. This is why the scale goes down, but body composition gets worse, less muscle, higher fat percentage, even at a lower weight. Here is the part nobody wants to say out loud. If you have been dieting on and off for years, your body has adapted to restriction in ways that make fat loss progressively harder over time. Your metabolism has downregulated to match your intake. Your hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin, have been disrupted. Leptin tells your brain you are full. Ghrelin tells your brain you are hungry. Chronic dieting suppresses leptin and elevates ghrelin simultaneously, which means you are fighting constant hunger with a slower metabolism. That is not a fair fight. And it is not one you are going to win with more willpower. The answer is not another diet. The answer is rebuilding the hormonal foundation that makes fat loss possible in the first place. So, what does that actually look like? First, address insulin resistance strategically, not with starvation. Give your body time between meals to let insulin drop. Prioritize protein at every meal to preserve muscle mass and reduce refined carbohydrates rather than eliminating all food. Second, lower cortisol before you increase exercise intensity. Prioritize sleep, walk before you sprint, build strength before you add high intensity cardio, because resistance training raises your resting metabolism without the cortisol spike that chronic cardio creates. Third, get your hormones tested properly, not just thyroid, not just a basic metabolic panel, a full social hormone panel that includes estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol, and insulin, because you cannot fix what you cannot see, and guessing costs you months of effort pointed in entirely the wrong direction. The goal is not to force your body into losing weight. The goal is to create the hormonal conditions where your body wants to release fat. That is a completely different approach, and it works. If you have spent years being told to eat less and move more, and it has not worked, you now know exactly why. The strategy was wrong for your biology, not you, the strategy. If you want to understand what is actually driving your weight gain at the hormonal level, we have a free hormone quiz at DeFi, naturalaging.com, that will give you a clear picture of where to start. Go to DeFi, naturalaging.com, take the quiz, and let's stop fighting your biology and start working with it.